up? What are you nerdigans? This is the one and only Packer Girl 89, and I am finally doing my book nerdigan discussion on Empower by Jessica Shirvington, which is the 5th and final book in the Embrace series, or as it's officially called, the Violet Eden Chronicles. I'm sorry, I like calling it the Embrace series more because whatever. If you have not read Embrace, Entice, Emblaze, Endless, or Empower, or have watched any of the book nerdigan discussion videos on all the books, what the commie and RC are you doing here? Seriously, go read the books, go watch the videos, and come back here so we can talk about it, because I never get to talk about books, these kinds of books, with my friends, because they don't read these books. Also, I have, if you have watched, if you didn't know this, or you've been living under a rock because you don't follow me on Twitter, I have a Patreon now. I will leave a link in the description for my Patreon. And Jessica Shirvington, if you are watching this, I would love to have an interview with you or have a live stream or a live podcast with you. It would be amazing to talk to you about this book or this series, as well as the Disruption series, which I am duology, which I'm going to actually do next, because I am a book nerd again, and that's just what I do. It's just what I do. I'm sorry, I had to do it, because yes, I know I'm doing a hashtag AngelReadAthon, but because these two books are written by Jessica Shirvington, and I read the Embrace series, reread the Embrace series, because I wanted to be refreshed by, refresh myself in Jessica Shirvington's writing before I read Disruption and Corruption. That was the main reason why I reread it. So, yes, I will be doing book nerdigan discussions for both Disruption and Corruption right after I'm done with the Empower. So yes, there will be a 2-video break from the hashtag AngelReadAthon, but because I'm a hashtag book nerdigan, I have to do it. But anyway, so Jessica Shirvington, if you are watching this and you would love to, I would love to, you know, discuss your books with you, and I'd love to talk about what you're doing next. And let's get back on track. I'm gonna try and not make this like an uber long video, but I got a feeling because of the mythology, because there's more mythology in this one than in Endless, it's probably going to happen. It might be a 2-parter. I'm going to try and not shoot for a 2-parter, but I'm going to try. So we'll see how it works. But anyway, this is the beautiful cover of Empower. I love the artwork of this cover. And if you probably can't see it, Mini Popo, but the writing it says on here, it says, "You can't stop me now," which is so freaking true. You can't stop Violet. She has learned so, because this book takes place 2 years after the events of Endless, and she's learned so much, because Violet is, the events of, the beginning of Empower starts, as I said, 2 years after the events of the Endless, and she is living amongst the rogue with Gray, and Gray has taught her over the past year. She learned how to seal her power so exiles can't sense her. And it just sucks that one of the reasons why she sealed her power was so Lincoln couldn't find her. And I mean, I understand why she did it, why she didn't want Lincoln to find her for a bit, so she could find herself. And I don't blame Violet for doing that, because keep in mind, at first I was like pissed off. I was like, why the commie and RC are doing this, Violet? Why? That was my initial reaction. But at the same time, I understand where she's coming from, because if she has been coddled by Lincoln, by her friends, by her family, and she wants to figure out who she is as a person. So I understand where Violet is coming from, and she wants to just figure out who she is, and also fulfill the mission for Lockbeck, excuse me. So, and yes, the word Lockbeck comes back in here. Thank you, Jessica, for putting Lockbeck back in this book. It was frustrating the hell out of me that there was no Lockbeck. But anyway, I gotta say, because in the beginning of this book, when we're learning a little bit about what's been going on and over the past couple of years, Violet is fighting these exiles, and these exiles are like mafia style, like Godfather. They're doing Godfather type shit, like Italian mafia shit. And they want to shred mutilated bodies, with the exception of the index fingers, which were going to be delivered to Mr. George, their boss. And I'm thinking to myself, damn, these Fallen are freaking brutal. These Fallen are not, like, when we get to, because I'm reading as of July 18th, 2015, I am I'm rereading Wings of the Wicked by Courtney Moulton. The Fallen in those books are freaking disgusting. Oh my, Kami and Arceus are gross, but we'll get to that when we get to that book nerdigan discussion video. Oh my god. Oh my, Kami and Arceus, I should say. I like what Jessica said here, that one of them had to be a domination or power, since he just snapped the neck of another exile who questioned him and ripped out his heart. And it makes you wonder, and I'm curious too, because in this book, I'm sorry, well, I'm not sorry, there's spoilers in here, because seriously, people, read the freaking book. Lucifer doesn't fall in this one. Lucifer is still in heaven with his counterpart. He's still an angel malign. He's not an exile. And he is a rank of the soul. And it makes you wonder, what if Lucifer actually exiled? Well, Samuel is of a rank of the Samuel, who we'll get to in a little bit. He is rank of the soul, and that's how I just realized that. But he is exile of light, or soul of light. So I'll get to that in a little bit. But yeah, it's crazy because throughout this book, and I like how we have this progression of how Violet is having these hallucinations and visions of Lincoln and dragons, and it ends up building to like this really big moment, and I'll get to that a little bit later. But anyway, so yes, Violet is living with the Rogue, and Gray saves Violet's ass because she's getting her ass kicked because she had a brief vision. And I don't know. Well, I'm not going to talk about what I think of Gray at the moment, because I won't give you my final opinion of Gray, because Gray's character is amazing. And same with Josephine. Josephine's character, amazing. Amazing! Josephine ends up not being a bitch like in Kelly Keaton's books. I love it. So apparently the Academy in London is spread thin on Gregory at the moment, and they had to hire the Rogue. And the Rogue we have are Carter, who's... Carter, he has like a power similar to Whis does. If you have watched Resurrection of Frieza or have read the manga, what I'm talking about is, I'm sorry, I'm spoiling it for you people, is Whis has the power of turning back time. And that's basically what Carter can do. And I'll get to Milo a little bit, and yeah. So what they're doing is they're going to infiltrate an exile fight club with the Academy. And I love how Violet says that in exile fight club there's only one rule: the loser dies. But I was like thinking to myself, why didn't you say the second rule of exile fight club is that do not talk about exile fight club? I'm just saying. So basically, we kind of figured this was going to happen at the end of Endless, when Lilith was killed. Was the past 2 years, the alliance between the light and dark exiles have dissolved, and out in the open tournaments have become common practice, but premeditated, orderly tournaments like this are new. And the out in the open The out in the open tournaments, I want to say those kind of remind me of like the Demon World tournament in the sense. And this one, the premeditated orderly tournaments, like the one that they infiltrated, they remind me of the Dark tournament from Yu Yu Hakusho. Maybe more like the Dark tournament from Yu Yu Hakusho than the Demon World tournament, because you have humans and exiles betting. It's crazy. And we now know, like, I was thinking, why does it even matter? We should just let them beat the shit out of each other. Seriously, that's your job as Gregory, to kill exiles. Or not kill in the sense, I mean send them to the pit. That would be the correct term. But these things are fucking sick. And I can't believe humans are allowing this. In the center, there are 10 humans gagged with hands tied behind their backs and bound to a metal structure. And the team of exiles that took out the most opponents and made it to the top of the Savage the humans wins. And I love how some sadistic retard took score. And yes, it was Frieza. Don't want to talk about, watch DBZ Abridged. Just saying. I thought this was interesting. The attire was ranged from Roman to ninjas. Yes, there's exile ninjas. Seriously, people, there's exile freaking ninjas. And to military to streetwear, depends on the era they became human. I'm still waiting for that Frieza armor though. I would have loved to see exiles in Frieza armor. Oh my god, RTH, just imagine the exiles in like in armor similar to what Vegeta was wearing or to what Nappa was wearing. Oh my god, I would laugh so hard if I saw that shit. Some exiles were above their peers and watching the activities in suits, probably taking bets. See, that's what I mean by Yu Yu Hakusho Demon World Tournament. I love this part. Like when all hell broke loose and they got caught. Violet's like, screw the rules. When it's battle time, exiles lose their choice. And guess who's back? The weird bald exile is back, bitches. And he killed the head climbing the net. Seriously, this guy, I swear to Kami and Arceus, he is like Aizen. I want to say he's like Bach, he's like Troll God Bach, but he's more like Aizen than Bach, because I will get to it when we get to near the end, but he's more like Aizen. He totally is Troll God Aizen. I'm waiting for the Troll God chair to come in, but no, he is totally Troll God Aizen. And because Violet knew Lincoln was close, Violet's fam. This is what was going on during the past few years. So because Violet knew Lincoln was close, Violet's family bounced around Evelyn's various safe houses in Europe. So, geez, Evelyn, how many safe houses did you keep over the years? And sadly, Evelyn lost them for Gregory memories. And on the bright side, Violet's dad and Evelyn are crazy happy in love. And because if you guys remember in Endless, at the end of Endless, Evelyn became human. So Violet didn't want to be the needle to burst it, so she left. And parents both understood, and especially her dad. So I was like, whoa. And Violet left them in Switzerland. I got a question for you guys, and I want to know, put this in the comments section. Do you guys think, because remember in Endless, Lincoln said when they were at the safe house that it felt like Jonathan left a piece of his soul there. I wonder, do you guys think that it's the same case at all of the safe houses? Because remember, Jonathan was a glamour wielder. He was like the best glamour wielder the Academy's ever seen. So I'm curious if you guys believe that as well. So Josephine actually managed to track Violet down. I think it was via Steph, I can't remember. And gave her private odd jobs, basically she was basically a hit woman, killing exiles in Prague, and been taking jobs ever since when she didn't have local Gregory in place. And the first year to get away from Lincoln was hard because he was so persistent. And it's like, Violet, seriously, what do you expect? Lincoln is going to be persistent. He is your soulmate. He wants to be with you. Why the Kami and Arceus wouldn't he be persistent? Shit. So seriously, like, you're gonna appreciate Gray's mysterious contacts. His contacts are amazing. I don't know, it's just, his contacts just know what's up. So now I can get to Milo's techniques. So basically, Milo is a darkener, and this is when they're at the bar, because basically what Violet's doing is she's working as a barmaid, and she lives above the bar. So Milo is a darkener, and it's kind of, I swear, Milo, if he was a demigod, he would be a son of Hades. He totally would. Or a son of Pluto if you are more of a Camp Jupiter, which I am because I'm in the Bay Area, bitches. Sorry, I had to put that out there. So he has the ability to plunge someone into darkness temporarily, binding them before his attack. And it sounds like an awesome defensive weapon, but it comes with a price, which you can see in the depth of his sad eyes. And I'm just like thinking, as soon as I read that, I'm like, yep, that's Nico. That's the Son of Hades thing. Totally Son of Hades right there. So, I have to ask you guys this, and please feel free to put this in the comments. Is it just me, or is it an oxymoron that an exile is posing as a priest, or is it just flat out ironic, or both? Please, I want to know what you guys think. Seriously, Gray is like, he's like an amazing best friend. He doesn't want, you know, anything physical with Violet, but, you know, they pretend, and Taxi went after too many drinks. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say. And of course, people, Violet has an espresso machine wherever she goes. She's dedicated to the bean. That's real dedication to the bean, and I'm not talking about sensu bean, people. Where is it? Grace says that the organized tournaments are popping up all over the world, and Baldy has to be behind this. I'm telling you, this is Eisen shit. Hashtag all according to plan. And I love how Violet describes her apartment as a shitbox. And she's like, but it's my shitbox. And I'm like thinking, yeah, just like I'm not in my apartment right now. Struggle Apartment Studios right now. But my Struggle Apartment Studios is shitbox too. But it's my Struggle Apartment Studios, and I love it anyway. And she's dreaming of Lincoln again. Well, and what Phoenix will explain, I'll explain in a little, in just a second, that it's actually Violet using her sight, and it's real. And Lincoln says, damn, I miss you so damn much. So damn much. And it's like, oh, Lincoln. Oh, Lincoln. Oh, my. But, yeah, we have a deja vu moment when Violet wakes up to Phoenix on her bed. And, according to Phoenix, as I said, yes, the quote, yes, you are using your sight when you find Lincoln, and just before sleep takes hold, a person's mind is most vulnerable and other parts can push forward, aka Violet's soul. And what you see is real. So basically what she's seeing, what she's been seeing with when it comes to Lincoln is real, which is crazy. And well, apparently Violet hasn't really wanted to talk to Phoenix in 2 years, because remember, Phoenix is an angel. Technically one of Violet's guardian angels, if you want to go technical. But Phoenix needs to talk to her, and 2 reasons. I love what he, quote, 2 reasons. 1, I missed you. You're the only person who has ever known me for better and worse. And 2, it's difficult to stand back and watch you disappear, especially when you were using something that I gave you to do so. And I thought it was sweet that Phoenix was checking in on Simon and Tom, and this is what, I'll get to Simon and Tom in a second. But so basically what's been going on, what I'm talking about with the powers is Violet, because remember, Violet in Endless, or should I just say screw it and read Endless? But, no, I'm going to mention it. But basically when Violet died and came back to life in Endless, she took some of Phoenix's essence, and Violet can move faster than before, not like or become the wind like Phoenix, which would be badass if she could. And she can also shut down her emotions and feel other emotions when her shields are down. And so basically, here's an update on the orphans from, you know, the orphans that Lilith took, the future Gregory kids, since most of them are orphans, the Academy set up a makeshift home and school within their walls for the kids. And Simon is 15, and he will embrace in 2 years, and he's an amazing fighter and compassionate too. And according to Phoenix, the moment Simon embraces, he's coming to find Violet because he's a strong warrior, and he wants a strong leader, which is Violet. See, Simon knows. He knows what's up. And and the thing is I love how Jessica Shirvington does this. She does this in Disruption as well, is that she puts little hints of the leadership role for the, I'm sorry, I don't know why I did that. She puts little hints of the leadership role for the main character throughout the series, and even though our main protagonist has doubts in herself, everyone else around her knows that she is a hero. So I like that. I like that Jessica does that. And she does this, I think she did this in Endless as well, but it's more prominent in Empower. Where is it? Yeah, she did it in Endless, especially when Violet was where was she? When she was in the dungeon with the kids. Seriously, I loved what Phoenix said here. I want to... Oh, yeah, Phoenix is right. Like, seriously, Violet was driving me freaking crazy. Like, I wanted to smack her because Phoenix was saying, let others be the judge of that you're a strong leader. And seriously, Violet isn't Bash the Stampede. She doesn't have a bounty on her head like Bash did. Well, she might have a bounty for the Exiles might have a bounty on her head, but amongst the Gregory, she doesn't. And I couldn't believe when she said that insensitive shit to Phoenix, because it's like, dude, did you not forget that Phoenix is also fathered by man? Seriously. But I loved what Phoenix said right here, because it was sad, and it's true. He said, I know we will never be anything more than friends, but I'll always love you. That I'm afraid appears to be part of my innate darkness. And I know this is true because it's more important to me that you are happy than that I am. And I'm like, oh, Phoenix, I want to give him a hug. I feel so bad for Phoenix. And seriously, Violet, deal with it. Phoenix is right. He said, yes, but I'm in a difficult position because your choices have left you emotionally ruined and physically tormented. Welcome to Intervention, Population Violet. And before Phoenix leaves, he tosses Violet a Gordian knot, which ends up coming up a couple of times. And I was just like, oh my god, the Gordian knot myth was crazy. And let me explain the Gordian knot myth, and I'll explain why there's some shenanigans here. No beginning, no end, a constant cycle that appears impossible to unravel. There was a prophecy once that whoever undid that knot would become the ruler of Asia. Alexander the Great came along, and instead of attempting to untie the knot, he simply used his sword and sliced right through it and conquered all of Asia. Seriously, what a smart cheater! What a smart cheater! I'm surprised the people of Asia didn't think about that. Like, I wonder what was going through their head. I want to know if you guys would do the same thing that Alexander the Great did and be like, fuck this shit, I'm not untying anything, I got a sword, slice. I'm ruler of Asia. I want to know if you guys would do the same thing. So the Gordian knot is now a symbol for the unsolvable yet doable for the right person with the right tools who is willing to be quick and decisive. Things are about to change, Violet. The question not one of us knows the answer sorry, I butchered the sentence. The question not one of us knows the answer to is just how much, and then just literally right after Phoenix leaves, bam, Onyx comes in. And I was like, yes, Onyx! I love Onyx. Like, Onyx, I gotta say this before I go on. I love so many characters in this series. And of course, like, Violet pisses me off sometimes, but I do like Violet. Because Violet is, I gotta say, Violet is a very realistic character in my eyes. Because I could totally relate to her and her situation. Of course, I love Lincoln, even though I want to smack him sometimes because he is an idiot. He's an idiot like another character in a certain series, aka the Angel Fire series by Courtney Moulton. But we'll get to that when we get to that series. Of course, I love Onyx. I love Spence. I love Dapper. I love Steph. Who else? Gray. I do love Gray. Gray is pretty awesome too. But yes, before I get to what the situation is, Sal and Steph are getting married. Yay! Sal and Steph, Sal X Steph, they are awesome. I love them. They are the cutest couple. I don't know if anyone else thought they were going to get married that fast, but damn. And Violet promised to be there for Steph's wedding day, and it will be the first time back in New York, and Lincoln is one of Sal's groomsmen. And something that Violet mentioned is that Onyx's eyes are softer when she looked into Onyx's eyes. And I was just like thinking, wow, because if you remember in Embrace, Onyx was an asshole. He had his eyes were harder than shit. Oh, fuck. Yeah, so let me get to the next part. Holy common Arxis. So basically what's happening is Spence is missing, but he's not dead, though. When Violet healed Spence and Jordan, she left a residue which kind of formed a connection that tethered them in some sort of way. And I love that Onyx is, we know that Dapper and Onyx are together. And I love that Onyx is calling Steph the girl just like Dapper is. I think that's really funny. So basically, what's been going on in the letter that Spence gave to Onyx and Onyx gave to, or Spence sent to Onyx and Onyx gave to Violet. And I gotta say, it goes to show you how close Spence and Onyx are. And it's all because Spence beat the shit out of Onyx. I love it. That's how that bromance started, if you guys don't remember. So Spence and his partner have been following leads and going on a mission after mission to do with the tournaments that have been going around. And during one of the missions, Spence and his partner disappeared in Texas and been off the grid since. Violet did actually meet Spence's partner, Chloe, because what happened was, I love that Violet ended up keeping her promises with Steph. Sorry, I just had to text my brother real fast. I like that Violet kept her promise with Steph because Violet and Steph still talk. Well, and that's how Onyx actually found Violet in the first place. So basically, we have an Iden moment here. So Spence knows the Bald Exiles behind the tournaments, and the Bald Exiles spotted Spence and sent exiles to hunt him and Chloe. And this is a little excerpt from the letter. Nothing this exile does is by accident, and it wasn't me who found him. It was all his doing. One more thing I thought you'd want to know. We've got off the grid, which means Lincoln will already be looking for me. Eden, you know him. He'll be hell-bent on being front and center, but I don't think this is the battle he can win it. Not alone. We took off to Mexico, but they're close now, and I've got to find a way to get Chloe out of here. She's not like us, Eden, but we're not ready for this. I'm sorry to dump this on you, but I've got a real bad feeling that trouble is going to find you soon. Don't pack light. Chloe managed to escape the academy. So Onyx updated that Chloe managed to escape She's at the academy. She's unconscious, and when she woke up, she said, "Find Eden," and Chloe refuses to tell the academy anything. Go, Chloe! Seriously, Chloe knows. And basically, Onyx came to take Violet back. And I love how Jessica wrote how Violet was packing. So packing included weapons, 4 passports, clothes, more weapons. And I love the look Onyx gave her. It was priceless. So, I love it. Damn straight, the girl is right. Violet's coming back to New York, bitches, and Onyx is prepared. He has a plan on standby. I love what Onyx said, too, when they're on their way, but they're going to go pick up Gray first, but before they go to the plane. But I love what Onyx said. He's like, I'm just giddy with excitement. It's as if someone has rebooted my favorite movie just for me, and I get to sit back and watch all over again. And then Violet said, still a bastard again. I was like, oh my god. And of course, Gray is coming too. This is great. What Onyx said, he said, Because Violet was like, we're doing shit my way. And Onyx is like, my dear, your way is always more entertaining. And then after Greg gets in the car, he's like, Onyx is like, yes, Rainbow, let's most definitely do this your way. And I'm thinking to myself, I can see Onyx with a tea, with like a thing of tea and hashtag sipping the tea. If you don't know what that is, seriously, you should know what sipping the tea is. Or in Onyx's case, it would be sipping the bourbon. But anyway, and of course the Academy jet, it's an Academy jet. And yes, the tyrant known as Josephine knows you're coming, Violet. And I love how Onyx calls Josephine the tyrant. Because she is the tyrant. She totally is. And she knows it too, that she's a bitch. And Onyx couldn't steal it. I love it. I love how he said, Onyx couldn't steal a jet under the tyrant's nose, and he ignores her existence altogether. And this is why I love Onyx. I love his wit. His wit is awesome. And I love his stories, too. And apparently Josephine, so like this is, you gotta, I don't know if anyone else realized this, but Josephine tried to lock up Violet, Josephine tried to lock up Gray, and Josephine is still trying to lock up Onyx. And it's like, it's the lockup group. And I love how Gray has the New York Rogue on standby. I just was like cracking up. And I thought it was sweet. I have to mention it that Violet kept her hair long because Lincoln loved it. And of course, just so you guys realize how much time has gone by, she is about to turn 21 soon. And apparently the few times Lincoln had seen Steph, it got so bad that Sal had to step in with Fist. Yeah. So this is how, and now I can get to Gray. So when Gray was stuck on the island of Santorini, because if you guys remember in its ways, that's how we met Gray in the first place, and had to hide from Aaron and his Nephilim kids, he had to build up his defenses, shut down the senses, and become undetectable to exiles. And I like what Onyx says on the Angel One line, and it's really true if you think about it. And as we go through the AngelReadAthon, you're going to notice with each series versions of fallen angels that there's something similar to it. He says they're not all bad, you know. Angel malign. It's not that they're evil. They just value the negative. Without it, there is very little way to gauge the positive. As you know, for exiles, whether light or dark, don't have clarity. Everything, envy, greed, hatred, anger is all heightened. Exiles feel immense power and are driven by immense desire to simply affect and change to their liking. It's their reality, and to them it's addicting. And notice, Onyx called the exiles they. He doesn't think of himself as an exile anymore, which is a huge thing, because remember, Onyx for the longest time thought of himself as an exile. After Violet took away his, or stripped him of his exile powers. Okay, now back to what Onyx is saying. I still struggle within the confines of my human-only body, but that's not the only thing you forced on me. You gave me clarity. And clarity is, I will say this, clarity is a theme of the #AngelReadAthon. I will say that. I've definitely noticed this. And I love the look on Violet's face. Like, I pictured it in my head. It's just like, she's like, what the fuck, really? So, and then Onyx continued with this. Pride is brutal when stripped, whether it be from angel, exile, or human, but it is also a gift when needed. I'm not exactly sure what I am now. I have an eternity of patchy memories of inherent darkness that will never leave. And, you know, it sounds like Phoenix, because remember, there's the key word, inherent darkness. And though I am mostly human, I am uniquely aware of what is not, and I have clarity. For the first time, I have someone. I have people. We know who that someone is. That's Dapper. I have people I would stand beside and fight with, not for my own purposes, but for theirs because I choose to. Dare I say, because of you, I have come the closest in my existence to being a part of a family. So no apology required, because Violet was apologizing for stripping him of his powers. And I was just like, holy call me an Arceus. We knew Onyx changed so much already, but that's what really sealed the deal for me. I love Onyx. And I love when they got to the academy. This was so priceless. What Onyx, the thing Onyx wants to say to Josephine, the queen is dead, long live the queen. And seriously, like, Josephine still wouldn't let Onyx in. She'll let Steph in because, well, that was because of Griff. And I was thinking to myself, too, Griffin, seriously, why didn't you let Onyx come in? Seriously, because they could have used the knowledge that Onyx has. Because Onyx has a lot of valuable knowledge. And I'm curious if Dapper is allowed in. I don't think the book mentioned if Dapper is allowed in the academy or not. And I love what Jocelyn said. Or not Jocelyn. Why did I say Jocelyn? I love what Josephine said in response to Onyx, which is, Onyx, is that a gray hair I spot? And then Grace, like, seriously, did we just step in on the playground? Onto the playground? I was like, oh my god. That was just priceless. I was laughing. And Lincoln is, so they go into the strategy meeting, and yes, great, you have to deal with the robes because Violet doesn't want Lincoln to know it's her. But, of course, Lincoln knew it was her, and I loved what he said. He's like, did you think that I did you think that I wouldn't know if you stepped into New York? Really? I was like, damn! I was like, seriously, calm the fuck down. So, Gray and Violet are staying at Ascension, which Dapper and Onyx own. And I was like, damn, Dapper and Onyx own Ascension. And I love when they first go in there. I think it was Steph. Yeah, it was Steph and Gray and then Violet go in there. And the first thing that happens is Dapper gives, wait a minute. No, Steph wasn't there. I'm sorry. Dapper and, wait. Whatever. I can't remember at the moment. I think it was just Dapper and, or it was just Gray and Violet, but I can't remember. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. But anyway, so, I loved it when Violet first went, as soon as Violet went into Ascension, Dapper gave Violet the biggest hug, and I was like thinking, wait a second, Dapper gave Violet a hug? What the commune is? Dapper never gives people hugs. That's awesome. I love it. I love Dapper's character development right there. That's huge. So basically, Dapper still has Hades, but I love what he said. But someone had to look out for the girl, and she tried to steal half of his books when she left for New York, and he was like, might as well take the books with. So yeah, Steph is still a book nerd again. She totally is. And I love Onyx's idea of shopping includes bourbon and Pop-Tarts. Well, and I was thinking to myself, well, mine would be Mike's Harder Lemonade and Pop-Tarts, but great minds don't think alike. And yes, Dapper X Onyx confirmed, and they are happy. So basically, what happened is, and this is why Steph has power, is Griffin gave up his seat of power to Steph because he didn't want to leave the city behind. And Steph told Jace everything, her brother, and he couldn't accept it and gave Steph an ultimatum, him or the Gregory, and, well, we obviously know what, Steph chose. And Raynor won't let Nyla go, because remember, Nyla's soul is still shattered, and Violet knows after Spence, you know what's gonna happen. We know what's gonna happen. Violet is gonna to rescue Raynor. That shit was so intense. I love the happy reunion with Zoe and Sal, and solely with Zoe. Lincoln should have hogtied Spence 2 years ago. I was cracking up. And if it weren't for Spence, Chloe would have been a nun in the Covenant. And actually, she didn't hesitate, and apparently, the exile that she saw and saved her was Onyx. Like, what the fuck? Why is the with the commune Arceus? What? I was like, what? Onyx won't talk about it, but it was probably around the time he started the alliance with Joel. So, a little bit of background on Chloe is her mother died in a home invasion the day after she was brought home from the hospital, and her angel's from the angel rank, but she is not like, Magda, or Maggie, and her sense of sound and her strength is recall. And so basically she has a mutated photographic memory, which is pretty cool. And she's a fair fighter, but has yet to return in exile. After Violet's stomach healed Chloe and she woke up, Spence is alive, and call me Arceus. But I loved Chloe said about Violet's markings, and seriously, Violet, fucking take the compliment, Jesus. Chloe said they're like life in motion, which is true. I think that's a beautiful way of saying it, and I never thought of it, her markings that way. And Spence's message to Violet, it's a trap. So here we go. So Holy Kami and Arceus. So the humans that captured them with, I love how Chloe said this. So the humans that captured them with the exiles genuinely worshipped the exiles, smart, wealthy people that accepted the truth like Scientologists. Chloe said it was like Scientologists, and I was like, oh my god, we have Tom Cruise! Tom Cruise kidnapped Chloe! Tom Cruise kidnapped Chloe and Spence. I'm just saying, Tom Cruise, don't sue me. So they weren't in a daze either. So, and there probably wasn't shadows on them either. So they drugged Chloe and Spence with sedatives and took them around different safe houses around the country. And they built an immunity because if you guys remember when they were at Ascension in Endless, they got sober from booze really fast. So, and Spence got Chloe out of there and told her to find Violet using her surname and say he's still got your back and he knows he'll see you soon. And Violet has an epiphany. The bald exile only saw Lincoln, Phoenix, and Spence at Lilith's mansion. See, this is Eisen shit. This is Troll God Eisen shit. I was gonna say Bach type of shit, but no, this is Eisen shit. And I'll get to why. So Chloe's photographic memory, let me explain her power because I thought her power was awesome. So it's a connection with the emotion she felt at the moment, as well as the environment, smell, feelings of the emotion she was trying to recall. And Chloe can also tap into someone else's and even share her memory, if their emotions are strong enough from any one event. And yes, it requires permission first. And we have a name for the bald exile, Samuel, who we will see again in later in the hashtag AngelReadAthon in the Angel Fire series by Courtney Moulton. Yes, we will see him again. And the look on Lincoln's face when Violet put him, oh man, when she put him in his place was so priceless. It was fantastic because Lincoln was being such an asshole. It was totally worth it. Seriously, if only Onyx was there, he would have been munching popcorn with Josephine. I swear to call me Narcissus, Josephine, you need to stop being a bitch and let Onyx in so they can munch on popcorn. Seriously, Lincoln, Spence dipped in Onyx to get Violet for a reason. She needs to lead the mission. And we have the challenge for the leadership of the mission, Lincoln versus Violet, and good thinking Josephine, that was Josephine's idea. And the sexual tension is freaking real. Like, you could see it. It was amazing. And seriously, no shit, Violet. Gray was part of the academy before you were born, and good thinking he has local rogues on standby, and bringing Taxi, Carter, and Milo in a couple of days on standby as well. And Lincoln is totally gelling on Gray, because he says, I'm not your friend, and the first thing I thought was, I'm not your friend, buddy. I'm not your buddy, guy. I'm not your guy, friend. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. And Lincoln knew where Violet was all this time. He did. And it's like, what the fuck? What the fuck, Lincoln, you did. But anyway, so poor Hakan, like his leg, because if you guys remember after during the attack on the academy, Hakan got hurt and his leg never healed after explosion, so no more fighting for him, he had to retire. And Seth and Decima are asking to be released from the assembly in their angel maker and basically they're asking to die so that can actually happen. So according to Seth, the older Gregory salute Josephine because it's tradition. They're marks of respect, and this comes into play a little at the end of the book. Though rank has been the obvious dictator of hierarchy throughout the history of Gregory, true leadership was earned and won irrespective of rank. The first level bows one's head. The second fist to shoulder. Third knelt on one knee and complete service. Ooh, sorry, my back is kind of hurting. Great, I loved great. Oh my God, great strategy for beating Lincoln. That shit was so funny. He totally pissed Lincoln off. He kissed Violet, and I was just like, oh my God. Oh my God, that's got to be the best way to piss Lincoln off, and also to keep Violet's shields off. And Violet's like, I'm totally gonna kill you after this. And rules first to get the opponent into kill position. Yeah, feelings are mutual, Brenton. You were still an asshole. And as I mentioned, theme of this series theme of Endless and Power, I should say. Drenson is an asshole. He just is an asshole. There is nothing that changes about Drenson besides him being more of a corrupt asshole. Violet, seriously. Violet beat Lincoln, and it was such bullshit that she had to do it without her shield. And but at least there was a compromise, and that they both had to work together on it. And I totally agree with Josephine on this, but at least I will say this: at least Lincoln let Violet put her shield back up right away. And Lincoln was so jealous. He called Gray Violet's partner. I was like, damn, Lincoln, shit. And I loved when Violet went to go see Simon, because Simon was so sweet. He's like, he wants to work for Violet because she's the one who will change everything. Notice Phoenix said that too. But her deal is fair. After Simon and his partner embrace and complete their training, then they can fight by Violet's side. And so they compromised, and Violet said that they're going to go scope out the area at night, or the night before. And they have their wires in. That was part of the compromise. I'm sorry, I got to move this or my computer's going to overheat. Oh, and my back is killing me, so let me just make sure I'm good here. Whew, okay. Let's see. Oh, here we go. And like Violet was saying to Gray that Lincoln hates her. And I love Lincoln says in her ear that he doesn't hate Violet. And it's like, dude, you forgot you had a wire in you, and a wire on, and Lincoln could hear everything you say. And it's actually a trap. And Samuel knew, like motherfucking Eisen, he knew. So it's a trap. And the rich human said that, because they walked in on humans, the rich human said that if Violet wants to get Spence back, to be in New Orleans on the night before the next full moon. These guys are sick, just like those fuckers in Yu Yu Hakusho during the Dark Tournament. You know what I'm talking about. And yes, I know I'm doing a lot of anime nerdigan shit, but I had to do it. These sick sadistic bastards love watching exiles fight to the death, and they are killing themselves. That actually makes them sicker than Frieza, because Frieza wouldn't kill himself when he got caught. He would have been killing Violet instead. And seriously, Lincoln, you have underestimated Violet's badness, because they were fighting the exiles, and I'm just like, and Violet's like, I can handle myself. Like, fuck you, Lincoln, leave me alone. And Lincoln's like, Lincoln ended up getting his ass beaten. Violet had to save his ass, but it's like, dude, Violet, Lincoln was trying to help. And I was so shocked when Josephine admitted to Violet that she knows that she's a bitch and that she gets compared to an exile. And I was like, oh my God. You admitted that you have a problem. That is the first step to solving the problem. And she asked, like, why she was actually the voice of freaking common sense here. I was like, what just happened? She said, why are you staying away from Lincoln? This is stupid. You shouldn't. And Violet said she's only staying away because she'll know that somewhere in this world Lincoln will be alive. So, and now we get to the partying at Ascension. So Violet is dressing up with Steph and have fun with Steph and blah, blah, blah. And Dapper is, keeps the security and, so tight, the masks are rarely used now, and yeah, he bought it a year ago. remember that. So Dapper says, this is on New Orleans. So Dapper says that strange things happens in New Orleans and that it's just wrong. Yeah, you remember that this kind of happened in Gods and Monsters and by Kelly Keaton with New 2. Yeah, just weird shit happens in New Orleans. And according to Violet, fear tastes like pepper, and it just reminds me of The Census Thieves by Corin Jackson, and it also kind of reminds me of the Everneath series by Ashton Brody. That's what that when Violet said that, that's what it reminded me of. And Kami and Arceus, this scene was so hot. The salsa night. Oh my god. Because remember what happened the last time salsa was involved? Oh geez. So now look who's gelling over Lincoln with Mia. And seriously, yep, get the fuck away from Lincoln. And Josephine wanted to make them partners. That fucking bitch. And thank Kami they refused. And I love Steph is the voice. Steph is always the voice of reason. She's like, of course Link would never take any other partner but Violet. And Violet's like just pounding drinks away. I would have been doing the same thing. And then, and like Dapper's like, nope, I'm not giving you any more. I'm cutting you off for a bit. And so, I love when Violet's like, great, if you dance with me, then we don't have to go to dance classes anymore. No more dance classes. I was like, oh my god. And it's like, what else was she gonna do? Dapper cut her off. And twice a week for the past year, Violet and Gray took dance classes. So Gray goes to, after they finish, Gray goes to buy Mia a drink when Lincoln approaches Violet. And of course, Onyx is smiling and watching this shit. And I'm like thinking, he's gotta be sipping the bourbon and getting some popcorn. I love Onyx. Onyx needs like a matchmaking success. Swear to Kami. And Lincoln admits Violet was right about the hit tonight versus the next day. Thank you. And seriously, I would so surrender to Lincoln right now. I surrender. And I love when Lincoln said, you still owe me a dance. And it's like, Violet, quit being a bitch. Seriously. She's like, fine, but I believe it is you who owed me the dance. And Lincoln's like, then I'll be sure to do my best not to disappoint. I'm like, okay, you can have me. I'll take that. I'm telling you right now, this book actually made Lincoln overtake the Fenris Wolf in the Nerdigan boyfriend rankings. I'm telling you right now, book boyfriend rankings. So I gotta say this too. Thank you, Lincoln's mom, for teaching him how to dance. And Link was doing salsa, Latin, swing, and good old dirty dancing. Okay, I'm hot, and it's not just the fucking weather out here in the Struggle Ranch. Jeez. Or Kami and Arceus. It was close contact. I love the writing. I love the writing. Sorry, the Jessica Shirvington book Nerdigan discussion videos are going to have lots of quotes because the writing is so good. It was close contact. His hands on my lower back, fingers spreading just so. His hips jammed tightly together, knees bent, strong arms pulling me so tightly. They arched my back, breathless. Our bodies molded together like they were designed for that purpose. Then the soul ache and Violet's body melded closer. Soul ache and and then the soul ache and Violet's body melded closer with his, and Lincoln tucked the hair away from her eyes, tilting her head up to his, and Lincoln said, "There you are, where only he could find me." Oh, basically, you know, where he could only find Violet. And I was like, oh, they're still holding hands after the dance. And I was like, oh. And Gray is dancing with Mia, and Violet confesses everything about Gray and her not being together. And I was like thinking, thank Kami, about fucking time. And Steph, I love what Steph said about with her and Sal. The rest will work it out for itself. The aging thing doesn't matter. And I love what Dapper said right here. He says, I'm not surprised. There's only one person for each other in this world for each of you. For as long as you're not willing to take what you need, the other will inevitably suffer. It's a Gordian knot, if I ever saw one. There's the Gordian knot! Curse you, Phoenix. Seriously, thank you, Phoenix, for stopping Nox. Like, Nox was going to interrupt Lincoln and Violet's dancing. And I'm, like, thinking to myself, oh, my God, could you only imagine if Nox did that? Like, seriously, Nox, what is wrong with you, you sadistic bastard? So, now we have Nox, Yuri, Phoenix, and Lockbit appear on Dapper's roof. And Phoenix wants Violet to go to New Orleans, and Nox, Yuri, and Lockbit not so much. And New Orleans is a complicated territory. And Lockmet on following the rules. This will be a common theme in Angel series, especially with Angels versus Fallen, because Angels are always following the rules. Being an angel makes it impossible for me not to. Why do you think so many of us exile? And the only thing separating Violet from becoming an angel is love and to be fully loved in return. You tell her, Lockbit, seriously. Love is never lost, only waiting to be found. You've been staring at your answer in the face for a long time now, denying it and refusing to do what you must. And Yuri on surrender, because remember, one of the themes of this series, and this went back to Embrace, or when Violet embraced and she met with Yuri, he was talking about surrender. He said, "No, child, surrender to yourself. Only then can you be the leader of your destiny." And Phoenix also said to ask Steph about weighing of the souls, and then left. And Lincoln was waiting by the window, and he said, "We didn't finish our conversation." I'm like, okay, I would totally take off my clothes and let's do this, Lincoln, totally. And the book nerd again women, seriously, if you've read this series, please tell me you wouldn't do the same thing. Seriously, I want to know. Violet explained the whole thing with Gray. Basically, oh, my phone's ringing. But anyway, I guess I have to stop this now because I have my brother calling me. But anyway, I will pick up, because we're at the 56-minute mark anyway, I will pick up with Lincoln and Violet's conversation on part 2 of the Book Nerdigan discussion of Empower by Jessica Shirvington. I want to know what you guys think of Empower up to this point. What do you think about the characterization and everything else? And remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, and donate to my Patreon, please. Seriously, because I would love to be able to have more money to be able to make more videos, get more books to do these videos, because the hashtag money struggle is over 9,000. And remember to follow me on Twitter at PackerGirl, P9CKER_GIRL. And until next time, Nerdigans, I will see you in part 2.